Uprisers, hi, it is Trisha Lacroix, CEO and founder of Sacred Uprising Institute and Retreat. And today is my opportunity to just get to speak with everybody. I'm going to speak today about calling in the one. This is still a part of my series, and it's about divine balance. So I'm going to wait a few moments for some people to jump on and start watching. So in the meantime, I'm going to make a few announcements. As I've been promoting for, let's say like 3 months now, we have a retreat that will be coming up. That retreat is September 18th, 19th, and 20th, and it's right outside of Santa Cruz, California in Watsonville, and it's going to be taking place at Mount Madonna. You can go check it out at mountmadonna.org. And our retreat is focused on 0 point energy. It is focused on infinite love. It is focused on, hi Annette, its focused is on living a life of infinite love based through 0 point energy. And if you don't know what 0 point energy is, 0 point energy is the energy of the universe. It is the purest form of the God essence. It is the purest form of love within. It is the wormhole. It is God. It is divine, sacred, and holy. There is nothing that blemishes 0 point energy. And it is the new consciousness, the new awareness, this higher consciousness that is being anchored into our world, in our universe. And what we're going to be doing, that is our focus. We're going to be talking about calling in the one, and what we're doing with the speakers that will be there, while the main focus is that each speaker is going to be talking to you step by step on the different bridges for one consciousness, for the one. The one is actually yourself. The one is actually the divine within you. It is actually all that is. Adonai, God, source, the divine, whatever you want to call it, however you want to articulate it, that is what the one is. And it's if you become what it is you want to have in your life, the abundance is amazing. If you want the one in your life, if you need to call in your beloved, you need to call in yourself, and you need these bridges to take you there. So we will have sessions on the divine masculine and the divine feminine, which is called the divine union within. Before you can call in the one, you have to have the one within. So we will teach you how to do that. We're going to be teaching about Kabbalah, Judaism, how to work the magic of the universe and bring in abundance, bring in the universal energy that can assist you with your flow and fluidity, and is actually the kingdom of heaven here on earth. We will also talk about sovereignty. We will be talking about the creator mind. We will actually have a PowerPoint which will talk about 0 point energy, which is again the highest, hi Lisa, which is the highest energy that there is out there. And we will talk about the steps to receive it, about the Star of Solomon, about the Merkaba, about the light body, and how to bring that into your life. We will also be talking about Christ consciousness, the consciousness of the ascended masters. And so that will be taught, because that is also a bridge to oneness. So we have about 7 to 8 different speakers that will be speaking at our conference. The circle is basically at this point complete with who we're bringing in for the conference. And I'm very honored and humbled that I've been tasked with this mission to bring these people to you and to offer you the opportunity to come meet with all of us, to come to Mount Madonna. The prices include the lodging and all your meals. It is all vegetarian meals. We will have tables set up for people who can provide you different modalities, whether it is the Indian head massage, whether it's elixirs that have been blessed and that can be used for certain aspects of your life. We're looking for more people who want to do some of these to have these tables set up. I am also offering, it's a $250 value, excuse me, where I will do activations on anybody who wants the activation. And what these activations are is that I activate people's light bodies and their Merkabahs. And being that the food at Mount Madonna is all vegetarian, your body will actually be able to handle the activation that I do on you. So I'm really, I know that the right people are going to come to this conference. There will be giveaways. We do, you'd fly into San Jose, and we will have a chartered bus to pick everybody up at the airport and also take you back. We're trying to make this as easy and just a fluid flow for everyone, to make this simple. Now, those of you who can't come, it's during the week. Maybe you can't take the days off the work. But we have where you can watch the live stream of the actual sessions. There are things that you'll miss out on. We'll be doing meditations. We will be doing so many different other activities that will bring in blessings and will open portals and that will draw in codes within us. But this is essential, and if you can be there, I would love to have you there, would love to hear from you. Please go to sacreduprising.com. We will have the schedule for the conference up next week. But until then, take a look at some of our speakers. Not everybody's up there. I'm still waiting for a few bios, but at least it will give you a little idea of what to expect at the conference. So that being said, I just want to mention, as I always do, if you go to YouTube or Instagram, look for the pink peony for Sacred Uprising and subscribe. On Instagram, I actually am the one who does it. I put a lot of different memes, sayings, scriptures that have meaning, that I feel that are all based on love, because that's what Sacred Uprising is about. It's infinite love. On YouTube, we have all these videos that we do live, and they are uploaded within 24 hours. Our show producer does that, and she does an amazing job with that. And then I haven't been very active with it because I've been busy with doing our logos, and we just completed the logo for the retreat, so I'll be debuting that next week. But once I get some of this done, we will be doing additional videos that are not shown on Facebook, that it gives little tidbits. It talks about different crystals, how to ground, and just talks about 5-minute videos that just help people with their spiritual walk. So that being said, yes, Annette, if you subscribe to YouTube, you will be notified when there is new videos uploaded. So the divine balance. So in this journey with calling in the one, I started this out about talking about calling in the one for me was my beloved, my divine union, and who we know as Charles now. I spent a year and 4 months of not dating. I made a decision that I wanted to clear out my life. I wanted to focus on my spiritual life, my career, and my children. And I did that for a year and 4 months, and there was a lot of pain involved. It was a lot of work, but I gotta tell you, there was no greater joy than the work that I did. And while I went through that process, I knew I wanted to gift my beloved with somebody who was worthy of him. And so I knew that I needed to clear up, whether it was financial, whether it was detachment, whether it was clearing out my heart chakra and no longer attracting the type of men that my father had imprinted on me. I needed to change. The only way I could break these patterns that I had was to change me. It wasn't on blame on other people. It wasn't blaming the ex-boyfriends that didn't live up to, what I thought they needed to be. It wasn't blame on any situations, jobs. It wasn't blaming exes. It wasn't blaming anything else, but actually taking a mirror and looking hard in my eyes, looking at my truth and making a change. And so I went through detachment. I let go of friendships while I loved them dearly, while they were beautiful people, but we were no longer aligned. And I let them go with love. I called in the divine feminine within me. I stood in my truth. I knew I needed to become what it is that I wanted, and I knew I had to become love in human form. Although at the time I didn't know, we all are love in human form, but I had to awaken to it. I had to realize I was whole in and of myself. But there's so much more to it. There is a divine balance that must happen to call in the one. Now, I want to once again say calling in the one is not necessarily about calling in your beloved, but it is about calling in the beloved within. It is about calling love within. And when we talk about love, we're talking about whatever definition you want to give it, God, source, the divine, Adonai, whatever it may be, whatever you want to call it. It's whatever is divine, sacred, and holy. It is the universe. It is mother, father. It is the combination of everything that it is the great I am. It is the Holy One, is the Lord. It is everything. It is all. And once we try to define what it is, we lose what it actually is. Just know it is all. It is wholeness. It is oneness. So what I learned was calling in the one was part of having the equal balance within myself. So one of my guides is Thoth, and I love Thoth, and he is the weigher of the balances and the weigher of judgment. And one of the things he talked to me about, he is one that I channel, and he is one that he is, I believe it's my gatekeeper. He stands behind me, and he only allows certain people or certain situations in my life. And he's made that very clear. He will not allow anything in my life that is not to be in my life. And I channeled him one day, and I typically record my channelings. And what he said was, he showed me, the balances, the with the light and the darkness, what we judge as good and as bad. And he said to me, I'm the weigher, I'm the judge of the balances. And he said, everything has to be equal. He said, and when it's balanced, he goes, it's there in the balance where God resides. And he was talking to me, though, at the time about judgment, no judgment, no judgment, no judgment, that even the shadow is needed, that we need to covet and we need to love our shadow side, our shadow self, and we all have it. And what I typically say to people is, as bright as one's light is also their darkness, because everybody, each one of us has those shadows, and you can fight the shadow or you can embrace it. But I learned through that lesson that he was speaking to me that there is a balance within. And I learned that when with that balance is what brought the red rose of the divine feminine within me and the blue rose of the divine masculine. And what that meant, what Thoth told me about that is that that I was the red rose, he said, you must become the lavender rose. And when you become the lavender rose, then you will have the one. And I didn't know what the lavender rose meant. And on April 4th, 2017, I received the lavender rose. And what it was the equal balance. When you put the red with the blue, it becomes purple. It becomes the equal balance for the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It is the Sarah vibration. The Sarah vibration is, we believe, that Jesus actually was married to Mary Magdalene. They had a daughter named Sarah, and she was the equal balance in the physical of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And so when you have this balance within you, miracles happen, magic happens, things get transformed in your life. You are neither within, you are neither masculine or feminine. You are the equal balance of both. There are no gender roles within. You become yoked. The feminine and the masculine become yoked. So I looked up what yoked meant today, and while I had the meaning, I wanted to see what the Webster Dictionary said about it, or what Google said about it. And it means to couple or attach, to join, to tether, to fasten equally. As a couple must be equal, otherwise it's unbalanced. Now, I'm not just talking about in a relationship. I'm talking about who you work for. If you are not balanced with the company that you're working for, it's not going to work. There is going to be those angst. There's going to be those issues. One of the things that I discovered before I started this, I worked for a company out of California, and one of the beautiful things about working for that company, I could speak my truth. And it was beautiful. I didn't have to hide any aspect of myself. I could talk to my boss about the things that we talk about here. We would talk about spiritual things. We would talk about how we wanted to bring spirituality and anchor it, hi Krista, and anchor it within our company and our marketing and how we worked with our vendors, how we worked with our clients. And I felt very safe because it was the first time in my life, not only in my relationship, I didn't have to hide myself, but in my company, I didn't have to hide myself. And it's the same with where I am with Sacred Uprising. What I've learned through this, being the founder and CEO, that I could not tether myself to somebody that didn't have the equal balance within themselves. If they were unequally balanced, how could I tether myself to that? But it doesn't mean, I want to say this once again, it doesn't mean that there's no judgment. It doesn't mean they're good or bad. It doesn't mean that I'm good or bad. It just means I'm in a different place. And whatever place I am in my life, I need to have balance with those that surround me, those I allow into my world. I posted on Facebook this week about Oprah, and she said, you're not only responsible for the energy you bring to the room, you are responsible for the energy you allow into your life. And that, once again, is about having balance, being yoked with friendships, with your family, with people on Facebook who you're not friends but you follow, with church members, with the spiritual community, those in your spiritual community, with your beloved, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever it may be, to be equally balanced. But to find that in your outer world, you must incorporate it in your inner world, in your heart and in your soul. It is not just a decision from your mind, it is a lifestyle, it is a heart choice, it's a soul choice to find this balance. So are you in sync? That's my question. Are you in sync with what is in your world? Are you finding that, and I spoke to one of my closest friends about it yesterday, I believe it was, that when you have people or situations in your world, in your universe, in your life, does your heart, does your spirit constrict when you're around these people? Or does it open up? And you can actually, if you stop in that moment, in that silence, you can actually feel the difference. I have family members that it constricts. So therefore, it's not that I don't love them, but I'm not a part of their world. I'm not active in their world because we're not yoked. I love my mother dearly. I love her. I have compassion for her, but we are not yoked. And I don't have that relationship with her because of that. I have friends that I loved. My best friend several years ago, we loved each other. We were close. We were like two peas in the pod. We were always in sync. But when we started going out of sync, because I was staying on my spiritual path and she wanted to go into the 3D path, which was fine, I could no longer be in sync with her and I let her go. It's not that I kicked people out of my life. I haven't done that. I talked to them and sent them with love and said, I'm not yoked. This isn't working. And like Dr. Lisa says, I have an altar of my life and I must clear that altar so more beauty can be laid. So people that I can be yoked to can lay their gifts on my altar and I can lay gifts on theirs. It was part of calling in the one. It was part of preparing my home, my temple for my beloved. So let's talk about what type of coupling. When we talk about yoke, part of that is coupling. So there's, like I said, there's the romantic relationships, there's the family members. And think about each one of these individually. How about your job? Are you coupled with it? Are you really supposed to be doing your mission, but you're not really doing your mission because of fear or because you're not wholeheartedly going to it, and everything goes back to self-love issues. Do you love yourself enough to go, I trust the divine within me, the beloved within me, and I'm moving forward with my mission? How about your home? Are you coupled with your home? Are you yoked with your home? My home, when I started doing this process, everything became about love in my home. The decor, everything that I did, the colors, everything had to be about love because it became a lifestyle for me. How about your transportation? Is what you're driving, does it not honor who you are? What are you not coupled with? What are you not yoked with? The books you read, the TV you watch, whatever it may be, what is it that you don't have that you are unequally yoked, that you don't have that divine balance? when you're not aligned with your truth, you create a paradigm on false pretenses, on what is untruth. You end up living a life that there's no foundation because it's not who you are. So are these people, these situations, these things in your life, is it a reflection of you? Because that's where you find the balance. That's where you become equally yoked. That's where you live your truth. You know, being part of this balance is about calling in the beloved. The beloved is actually you, calling in yourself. And guess what? You know what you are? You are love in human form. You are agape love in human form. You are the embers of God, the monad of God in human form. Call that in. That is the one. Start there. Call in love, because love is the creation of everything that is. Agape love. I love. This is my issue. Word of God. I'm logos. Word of God. If whichever of those terminologies resonates with you. Word of God is spoken about in the book of Ezekiel 120 times. Word of God spoke and creation happened. However you want to view how creation happened, but it's words, what we speak, it's creation. And what Word has said to me is that we have these mere human minds and this mere human language that constricts what is. And really, when it comes to, like, when we talk about God, we all of us teachers say is that when you define it, you lose what it is. It's more of a sound. It's more of a feeling. Love is the same way. And what Word told me is that if you take all the sand in the world, all the sand, every single beach, if you take one grain from all that's in, consider all of those beaches, you take one grain of sand, that is our understanding of what love is. Because love is not a word. And the thing is that, so let me explain how vibrations work. When I hear the ascended masters, when I hear source, when I hear angels speaking, when I hear guides speaking, many times either I will hear them with my human ears, or I will hear the vibrations. So to give you an idea what that sounds like, if you're in a pool, if you're in water, and you're talking to somebody in the water, we always did that as kids, we'd start talking underwater. You can't actually truly hear what the person's saying, but you can feel the vibrations, you can see their mouth moving, and therefore you know what they're saying. That's how sometimes I will hear. That's the best way I can describe about vibrations, is what you hear when you're underwater, when somebody is speaking in water. And so when they talk about, so with love is a vibration. That word is a vibration, and it's only one grain of sand versus all the sand and all the beaches and all the world of what love truly is. So the word love does not, it constrains what it is. So that being said, the best way to describe love is like agape. And I was looking it up on Wikipedia. And what it says, it is the love of God for man. It is unconditional love that transcends and persists regardless of circumstances. And I want you to remember that, because we're going to come back to that. It is, in its pure form, it is essentially divine. It is a selfless love that is passionately committed to the well-being of others. And here's another one that really got to me. You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love, agape, your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward have you? The goal is to love everybody, to see everybody, to have that beloved within you, that you see everybody, even those who you can't agree with. and you find that in your humanness, you want to judge, or they hurt you or whatever, and you don't like their politics or whatever it may be, to see them through the eyes of the beloved. Because when you call the beloved in, when you call the one in, when you call God in, when you call yourself in, you can look at any situation without judgment. I have a friend, and I actually called her today to make sure it was okay to talk about this. I have a beautiful, beautiful friend, and Annette, I'll answer this question in a minute. A beautiful friend who has a beloved in her life that has, she has every reason to walk away. She has every reason to judge. This person has hurt himself and everything that he is, and he has sacrificed everything based on addictions. And this is what I found with this beautiful human being that I call my friend, is that I didn't hear from her ever any judgment for him. Even though her life has been turned up down, even though her heart is broken. What I hear is compassion, and that she sees the progress that they made in the last 6 months, and that she sees his soul, and that she knows that what he is going through is for her higher good, because it's calling her to be purified. It's calling her to have God work within her. It is calling her to see him with compassion and God agape love. That there is no judgment. There is only love and compassion. And she has been steadfast in this very painful period in her life, and is held fast for him while he was and is going through the consequences of what he had done, what he's done. And she shared it with me, and what I found is that I found love for him, that there was no judgment for him either through me, that I saw him and I said to my friend, I said, you understand, part of this is for you to get in touch more with your beloved within, with your God-like essence, for you to have God awaken within you and to be like the Son of God, which is Christ, or whatever ascended master you believe in. But that is why they are sons of God, because they walk like God, because they love like God, because they have God residing within them. God told me on April 8th, 2016, once I went through a galactic council and I was initiated, I heard him say, "You are a prophet. You are a daughter of God." And at the time, I did not quite understand what that meant. But what Jesus said, and I'll talk from the Jesus standpoint, that is the Christ consciousness when it comes to Jesus, is how I get to oneness. And that is what I finally understood. We are all sons and daughters of God. We all have that Christ consciousness within us. It's awakening to it. We are all sons and daughters of God. We are one with the Creator. We have Him in our DNA. We have Him within our hair, our blood cells. We have Him within our breath, within our lungs. And I got to tell you, I need God. I need the divine in my lungs more than I need my breath. I need Him, because without Him, I am nothing. Without the Divine Father flowing through my veins, without the Divine Father within my soul and my spirit and speaking, and that my mouth, that I ask that the universe would use it to speak its truth through me. Without that, I am nothing. We are all sons and daughters. The beloved is within you. The God essence is within you. Find that balance. It's infinite. It is everything. The Divine Father and Mother. I want to tap into this because it's something that I told my Charles last night. I have loved it before. I've loved it before. But what the thing was is that I could tell the beginning and ending of those men's love for me and my love for them. And I could tell where theirs ended and mine began, and I could judge who loved who more. But what I discovered, when you have that beloved within you, when you have that equal balance within you, what happens is that what I told Charles, I said, babe, there is no It's just a flow of love between us. There is no beginning or ending. Our love is one. There is no separation. And is what the beloved is. That is what the God essence, the Christ essence, the Lord essence, the divine essence is within us. There is no separation. Just like we talk about the divine Father and the divine Mother. But I got to tell you, there is no difference. If my flow with Charles, my beloved, is the same as what is within me, the balance within me of the divine feminine and divine masculine, which is the same as the galactic mother and galactic father, I gotta tell you, there's no separation, there's no difference. In our human minds, we want to put labels on the difference because that's how we can understand it. But once you get to the one conscious, you understand there is no separation. It just is. There is no right or wrong. It just is. Everything is working for us. Everything. The pain and suffering that we see is part of consciousness that needs to be healed. And we can heal it when we heal ourselves and call the beloved the divine balance within ourselves. If you want to fix our country, start here. Call in the beloved. If you want to fix your finances, call in the beloved. If you want to fix your relationship, call in the beloved. If you want to have the career that you always wanted to have, if you want to start your mission, call in the beloved. That equal balance is where it all begins. It is agape. It is the beginning and the end, and there is no beginning and end because there's no separation from the beginning and the end. This is where it comes to the truth that time is an illusion. Different universes are illusion. We are one. We are one. Call in the one. Call in every consciousness, every piece of everybody in the world, in the universe, the star beings, whatever you believe in. It's all who you are. We're all just stardust. Call in everything that is. You will radically change your life. Find your balance, that divine balance within. And you know how I know this works? Because I did it. And I'm still doing it. And I'm learning more and I'm going deeper into this. Had somebody told me 2 years ago that I would be in this place of the one consciousness, this beautiful kingdom of heaven on earth that I'm actually living, I would have thought you were nuts. I would have said, okay, but it's not my truth. But it's my truth today because I've walked this walk so tightly and I've honored it. And there were times that I was angry. There were times that I stumbled, but I kept my faith and I knew what I wanted. And little did I know when I cried out to God in 2013 and said, I found the one whom my soul loves. That is my motto. I want a man that is like King Solomon. What I didn't realize what I was asking for, and I have it tattooed on me, what I didn't realize what I was asking for, Solomon, that is the balance, that's the beloved. That's why it says beloved in there so many times. That is the balance between the divine feminine and divine masculine. That is the one consciousness, everything that is pursuing us. That is actually about God pursuing us. It wasn't us pursuing God. He's always been here. He is the air you breathe. He's never left you. It is spoken that nothing separates you from the love of God. Nothing, because it's what you are. No more than you can separate from your DNA. No more than you can separate from the blood that runs through your veins. No more than you can separate from the cells in your body. You cannot separate you. Nothing can separate you from love. From all that is, from the sound of the universe that has no name, but we call it love. We only understand us 1 grain of sand of it. That's all we can understand. I will tell you what love feels like, what agape feels like. That moment when you are on your wedding day, those of who you are married, and you say I do, and you see the love in your beloved eyes, and your heart feels like it's bursting open. That gives you a little idea of what it feels, what the agape love, what the beloved feels like. When you're in that moment where you feel empowered and so whole that you feel that you are fearless and fierce and you are of everything that is, That's just a little grain of sand of what love feels like. And when God walks into your room, into your home, and you walk into that holy of holies, and you kneel, fall to your knees, and you weep, and you can't even speak because of the oneness and the wholeness you are feeling within your being, and you weep, and all you can do is cry because of the wholeness. That's just a grain of sand of what love really is. Our mere human language, only when we call it love, we only understand that grain of sand. But when we understand that the truth is in the silence, the truth is in the song of the universe, the truth is in what is not spoken or has words to, that's where the truth lies. That's why we meditate. That's why we go into those places of silence, because that's where the truth is. And that's where love resides. Love doesn't have a name. God, the divine source, the universe, it has no name. The Om, the Amen, the All, the I Am, it has no name. But there's a feeling that goes with it. And when you meet somebody that has the beloved within, you can't help but change. You can recognize it within them. That's how I knew my beloved when I met him. I had fallen so in love with the beloved within me, with self-love. I fell so in love with my creator, the divine. I fell in love with how sacred, divine, and holy I was. And so when I fell in love with that, when I looked in Charles's eyes, I saw God, and I was already in love. The divine balance. So what is it that you can do to turn your life into the divine balance? Detachment, loving yourself, taking time not to be so caught up in the busy work and in your mission, but taking time to understand your real work is in the silence. Becoming what it is that you want. Focusing on all that is. Living your truth. Not being equally yoked with everything in your life. Being kinder. Being gentler. Understanding that even the darkness is needed. Judas Iscariot was needed. I love Judas Iscariot. He was needed. I think it was the greatest form of love. I believe, and many of us believe, we choose the lives that we live here as humans. We choose it before we're born. We surrender to it because there is a mission of love that must be done. And Judas Iscariot also said, okay, Creator, okay, I will give that kiss of betrayal to a son of God, because his mission, his longing, the beloved son's longing, is to tell the world that the old paradigm no longer exists, that what was told and spoken of what God was not true, and he wanted to create a new earth so we can know what love truly is and how much God loves us. He is not a God that wants you to sacrifice your children on the altar for his ego. He is the God that would sacrifice a son, that would allow his son to walk that path, to sacrifice himself. So everybody, the world, 3,000 years later, would still be speaking of him because he wanted us to know love. And you know what else? When Jesus sacrificed his life, when he wanted that to be his mission, he never spoke because God was in the silence. But Judas, he gave that kiss so that beautiful story, love story, could be told. And in many different cultures, there are very similar stories where sons of God, ascended masters, did very similar things that what Jesus did. And they too were betrayed. And they too, I love, because they sacrificed their reputation. They sacrificed their life so a love story could be told. So even the betrayals are needed. Even the hurt is needed because it is all working for the divine. Even our political culture right now is needed because it is awakening oneness. It is awakening and it is honoring this new consciousness that is here on earth, that is anchoring in. It's changing you because even you are realizing what you want and that not this. It is doing its work. It is doing its bidding. It is still working for the divine in an opposite manner, but it's awakening you. It's stirring your soul. It's making you passionate. It's rising up that divine feminine in honor of not this and me too. It's rising up the beautiful divine masculine that is being protective and loving and more caring. It's doing its work. Just like what it says, the Sermon on the Mount, for if you love those who love you, what reward have you? It's hard sometimes. I've been put in situations where it was very painful to love somebody that could cause me so much pain. And I can't say that I love all those people that cause me so much pain, but what I can say is I don't hate them. And I have compassion for them because only hurt people hurt people. And for that reason, you can love, you can care, you can have compassion at the very least for people that don't have a consciousness that understands love like we do. We are blessed that we get to have this understanding. And we can't fight the hate with hate. We can't fight war with war. What good does that do? We can only stand up for love. We're warriors of love. And in the end, love wins. Love always wins. Because you know what? Love is what we are created from. Love is what the universe is made out of. Love is what Gaia is. Love is what the animals and the reptiles and the birds and the stars and the sky and the sun and the moon, what it all sings. Love. You can't escape it. Love is God. Love is my mother. It is my father. It is what I was birthed into. Love is everything. So guess what? Love wins. And hate is an illusion. It's not real. Hate is just tears in love. So instead of throwing more hate into the tears, let's throw love into it. Let's see others through the eyes of the beloved. You know, Kesha, like I said a while ago, Kesha sings a song that says, some things only God can forgive. And when I heard that, I thought, yeah, maybe Trisha and my feeble human self can't forgive somebody, but the God within me can. So yeah, some things only God can forgive. And because I am but a drop of that ocean, because I am but a spark of that fire, because I'm a monad of that wholeness, of course the God within me can forgive, and the God within me can change my heart too. I'm not the same person I was before I started this journey. Not the same person. Before I started this journey, I was a liar. I was a manipulator. I didn't know my truth. Couldn't speak it, couldn't live it. I was a chameleon to whatever anybody wanted me to be. And then love came in. Love came in because I started fighting for victims. I started that fight out of bitterness and anger over the religion, the cult that I was raised in. But then love penetrated that bitterness. Love penetrated that group of victims. And love opened my heart chakra. And love changed me. I'm still going down this road and I'm still learning, and there are times that I take steps backwards because I am human and I am having a very human journey. There are times that I go through my situations where I get negative and I get judgmental, and I'm learning. I'm learning to do more letting go. I'm learning to, I have my boundaries. I think every boundaries are very healthy. What I will or will not allow in my life, but I am learning over the last, even more so in the last few weeks and months, to understand everybody has their journey. Every level of consciousness is needed, and even in that is a balance. And to cheer people on as they continually make changes, and to give myself radical grace, and to see myself through the beloved eyes. To try not to judge myself as I judge myself so often, and I'm trying to let go of that. I will never be. I'm a humble daughter of the Creator. I am a daughter of the Creator, and I'm learning. And I will one day go back to wholeness completely. And I know what it feels like, because if God can use me in this feeble body with my mistakes and my past and the fires I have walked, if he can use me, oh my God, he can use everybody. I am nothing special. We're all one. We're all in this together. And if you can work on yourself and find that balance of the divine within you, to find the divine union within you, you will call in the divine union. It is a law of the universe. There is no other way. It is what we will be teaching about Kabbalah. There is no other way. If you call it within, it will walk into your life, and it will have a name, and it will have a label. It will have a definition of what it is to you. But starting here, do the work. So many of us want to go to psychics, and I go to a psychic. I have a psychic I go to every 6 to 8 months. I need her. I love her, and she's been an amazing guide. But so many of us just want to do that instead of doing the inner work. Do the inner work, but do it from love and grace and everything that is good. Even biblically, it talks about, think of these things, not the negative things. Think on these things, because those negative things are not real. Everything that is good is of the Creator. Everything. The divine union, the divine balance. So, love, the word, it's finite in its truth. But listen to the sound of it. Listen to the silence of it. Listen to the lack of self-talk and lack of judgment. Listen to all that is, and know that you're loved, and know that it's okay to have a shadow side, because we all have it. And know that none of us are your guru. None of these wisdom keepers are your gurus. You are your own guru. We're just kind of lighting the path, because we've walked this. We know the way. Thoth says it is the servants that it is the masters that are the servants. And what I find beautiful about that even that is balance. That means when you are a master of something, when you have been put through the purification process, when you have gone down the path and you've walked it and you've learned it, it is your responsibility, it's my responsibility to teach it, to help others, to help the new higher consciousness, and to help heal this world, this universe. It's so much bigger than us. When Charles told me he loved me, he said, one of the things he said, he goes, it's like our love is bigger than us. And that's how it is. Your life is bigger than you. So do it. What are you waiting for? And there are those of us, we have Bliss, we have Dak, we have Lori, we have many different, and I apologize to those of you that I haven't said your name. We have myself as well. We can help you. We can just guide you. We're not going to tell you exactly what to do, because your spirit knows that, but we can give you those truths that can help you along your path to transform your life. If you want heaven on earth, if you want the golden city in your life, we can help you with that. It's abundance. Your inheritance is to live heaven on earth. That's your inheritance. That is the contract that you made with God before you came, that you would go down a certain pathway to learn certain things, to have a certain childhood, to go through certain things. But in the end, love will win. Just call in the one. So that being said, these are just some of the truths, and we will dive so much deeper when we're at the conference into these truths. I really, I would love to see so many of you there. We have new speakers that are coming. I'm very excited about all of them. If you want assistance, I have clients that come to me, and they come to me about certain issues here and there. I do intuitive soul coaching. I work with your guides and your ascended, the ascended masters that work with you, and your archangels, and I can help and assist to guide you along your path. I don't like to call myself a psychic. Sometimes that stuff comes up. I don't like to call myself a medium. Yes, I might see your grandfather or whoever who has passed, but I am somebody, a better terminology is a mystic that can work on many different levels with you. But I think that what is most beneficial, if you want to learn to call in the one, let's set up a schedule and let's do it on a regular basis. And there is no control here. It is the one, the way to the one, the God, however you want to define it. It's like a great buffet, and I can show you the buffet and lead you down the path, and you choose what opens up your heart. You choose what opens up your spirit, and that's what we work on together. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. I so greatly appreciate it. Calling in the one, it is the rhythm and the song of what this conference is. It will be beautiful. There are a lot of surprises that will be coming with it, and now that I basically have my circle of teachers, we will start doing some marketing and providing additional information. I am very grateful to everybody that has been on this platform, and those who spoke, the ones that are now considering and now coming on board to start speaking. We have somebody from Egypt that will be speaking. We have Bali that will be speaking. We have people from LA. We have people from all over the world that are coming together, that are understanding this platform is not my own. We are here together. We are to make you aware of God's presence. We are but feathers on the breath of God, so that you may know of His presence and how you can radically change your life. We're in this. We are one. Understand and guide you to the power of infinite love. Thank you, everybody. And this will be our last video for the week, and we will start again next week. And next week we will be bringing new people, some of our old the wisdom keepers that you're accustomed to, but some new wisdom keepers. We will start bringing them next week, and I'm so grateful and blessed to be part of this journey with you. So thank you so much, and God bless.